Ahoy!
Welcome back to Girl Stories.
I'm Carly.
I'm Blair.
And this is the comedy podcast where we talk about history and our girls.
And again, as a preface, because we, again, got a comment, is that this is half comedy, half history.
People were like, why did you not talk about history for 40 minutes at the top?
Yeah, it's amazing to see the waves
and it's
of viewership.
You know, it's nice in a way because it's like, you do trust us. That really says something about
It's really beautiful.
It's nice that you trust us. But like, we're gabbing. We're here to gab.
We're gabbing,
more than we're here to do other stuff. Also, like, and it's fine. But sometimes I am just kind of like, and this is not even about me. This is just about life.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sure.
You don't have to consume things you're not enjoying.
Yeah.
Like, and then complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's sometimes when I'm like, I'm looking for a song or I'm looking for a podcast or whatever. And I'm just like, this is not the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if there's a podcast, this podcast has been a deep, hard history podcast. And then we've pivoted halfway through.
Yes, yeah.
To gabbing. Then it's fine to be like, make a comment being like,
It'd
hey.
be a little interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to be like, hey, don't do that. Or like if we say something wrong, leave a comment being like, hey, you actually meant that. That's fine.
Love to be
But
corrected.
it's like what you have beef with is the concept of the podcast.
Yeah. Which
know?
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you at that point.
Which has always been that. And now that
Yeah.
Spotify has those weird ass like auto-generated chapters, you can just skip.
Apologies for our auto-generated chapters. What the hell? I can't figure. We don't know how to control them.
No.
They say some wild things. One was like Sophia's history about your cat.
My cat.
I was like, huh? Like, so we are not writing those.
It was like thoughts on race. And so there was one that was like that. And I was like, what the fuck were we talking about?
No, it's crazy. I don't know how to control those.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. But I actually
Eventually
don't
we'll
know.
figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I've been walking Blair through this, but I'm thinking of getting a cat because Sophia,
Yeah, you
my
gotta get
cat
a
that I've
cat.
had for 16 years or whatever, lives with my sister downstairs, and I get to see her sometimes. But
Yeah.
we've been post cottage kind of depressed, and I've been
Cottage was the
oh my
funnest.
God. We have to
time I've ever-
break down. We have to
break
break down
the
the
cottage.
But I was been so depressed. We've all been so depressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
actually
wanted to record an episode of The Cottage, but kind of do it as a soundscape.
Yeah, and I kind of vetoed that.
Yeah. Carly
that
said
ended up
she didn't
being
want to
good.
bring the mics.
I didn't. Honestly, guys, I love what I do. but
Carly
when
didn't want to
I
travel
when
with
I
her
see
microphone.
this microphone, I get a visceral reaction. It's because it's like time for work. You know what I mean? It's like seeing your math booklet on the
Clock
table
in.
when you're a kid,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's like the easiest job in the world.
I don't want to do that. I'm at the
I don't-
cottage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that's to say is in my post-cottage depression, I've been like, oh my God, I want a cat to just lie on my throat.
No, you gotta
I was
get a
interested
cat.
in a certain cat, but then he was located in Egypt, and
Which
I would
is
have to pay
just
for
too
his
far.
flight over. And I was like, I do feel like we have cats here.
Yeah.
I think we might.
It was weird that you were even being advertised a cat from Egypt.
Well, it's a rescue service that partners exclusively with Egypt.
Okay.
So they all say that they're in Mississauga.
Oh,
they're not.
But they're in Egypt. Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I think you should get a cat. Having a cat is amazing.
I sent you the one that I made an application for, and I hope it
Yeah,
works.
she's amazing.
Reason I got into it last night because obviously we're both plant-based and he's a vegan, and he's like, well, we can't feed the cat meat, and I was like, we have to.
No, that's
it's
crazy. No, I'm
ethically.
sorry,
I was
that's
like, no, I
crazy.
was like, we got into it, and I was like, I get it. We literally
have to.
Like, and I said to him,
The cat will die.
I was like, unless you want to be making this cat a warm meal, like, because I think there's a way you could do it where if you make the cat a hot meal, like you saute a bunch of shit, you can. I don't know, but I'm not doing that.
Meal?
I'm like,
You
I
want
was
a
like,
kitten to eat a hot meal?
that's what I'm saying. I
No.
was like, if you want to do that, you can do that, but I don't think
That's really
so. All
funny.
that to say, don't worry, listeners. If anybody has expertise in veterinary, whatever, and wants to like send an email to us or a comment being like, this is why it should be, giving me concrete reasons, I would appreciate that. All I know is just like the cat doesn't understand factory farming.
Yeah.
So the cat doesn't know.
I
The
still
cat
feel like
needs to eat.
the cat gets slop in a can. I don't know
Yes.
if it's that serious. Also, like your cat is gonna pick what they eat. This is kind of like
Well, that was not my experience with Sophia, but that
Oh,
has
yeah,
been
okay.
obviously my experience watching you and Jim being like,
Jim-
fuck, they don't have the fucking kind she likes to
they
eat.
don't have the fucking cheese chunks and ham. I don't know
She's
what
not gonna eat.
she's gonna starve. Turkey and cheese feast.
That's
would
what she
only eat
is.
that.
What is she on now?
She's on the fancy feast right now, which is
Okay.
kind of. I love when she's on the fancy feast. It's simple. I don't feel
Yeah.
bad because when she's on a Friskies kick,
You're
I'm
like, this is bad for you.
this is not good for you. I don't
Yeah.
think the fancy feast, and for the commenters, I've tried giving her the fancy food. I've given her the expensive cans.
She
does
doesn't
not
like it.
Eat that
There's
shit.
no, I've
She doesn't
literally
touch it.
never ever seen a cat more picky in my life.
She's so
a
picky.
cat so spoiled and yet wants to eat basically a McDonald's hamburger every
Yeah.
night for dinner.
She wants French fries and gravy, and that's it.
all she wants. Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck. She wants treats.
Yeah.
Christina's been giving her just handfuls of treats because she's trying to get her to like her more.
Yeah.
And it is working.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but it's
I was talking to my sister last night because she obviously has the cat, and Brianna, her girlfriend, has been staying over, and Brianna's like, I will wake up and she'll just be standing on my chest looking at me. And I was like, oh no,
wants you to get out.
she's gonna kill you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Jim's trying to figure out how to get Christina out.
Well, I think Jim and Christina are actually getting along really well now,
Okay,
which is
that's good.
really a huge relief because I
That's
was
good.
quite worried.
Yeah.
But I think it's still kind of like it's Jim's bed and Christina's kind of in it disturbing both of us.
Yeah, she's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, like Jim and I are a unit, and
Yeah,
Christina's
so Jim
kind
is trying to advocate for you in her mind. Jim is
Yes.
advocating for you as well
Yeah,
as her.
exactly.
But you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be honest, Christina's a pretty restless sleeper.
Oh yeah.
And so we do sleep apart, not all the time, but like especially since moving and it being really hot. I'm
Yeah.
like, she runs at 1,000 degrees
And she's kicking.
and she's kicking and screaming the whole night. And I'm
Right.
like, I gotta
so
leave.
So nothing but love.
Yeah. Nothing but love and light. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
But so Jim's really liked that. But now I think we're getting into a rhythm where Jim will just sleep on my side, but now I have no room. 'Cause
Amazing.
I'm just like hot
Amazing.
dogged in.
Yeah, and Jim's not going for the sidecar.
No, Jim does not want the side. I got Jim a little cat bed that attaches to the bed. She has no interest in it.
Yeah.
She, oh my God, she will like do that thing the cats do where they like tense up all their muscles and they spread their legs out really wide so that they can't like touch the thing you want them to touch.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to get them in a carrier and they
she's
just kind of like spider it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I know it well. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do it.
Amazing.
But yeah, you should get a cat. That'd be amazing.
I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I really want it. I think it
Yeah.
would be good for me. I'm nervous in a way because it's another big life change. We were talking about things.
Yeah.
It's almost September, changes in the air, but I think it'll be good.
Cats also, it's not the same as getting a dog where it's like your life doesn't really change in terms of like response. Like obviously, yeah, you have to like feed the cat.
But a dog is a lot
hang out
more
with the
active
cat.
shit where it's like with the cat, all my work is done at home anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll be with the cat. You know what I mean? Like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's like, sometimes you got to remind yourself, like getting out of your comfort zone of just being like, things can shake up the kind of general look of your life and that's still good,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I also think it's like good every once in a while to kind of like incorporate a new factor into your life that's a little bit kind of like
I agree.
this maybe won't be just like an easy insertion.
It's not going to be, it
into
might
my
be
day-to-day.
uncomfortable a bit, but that's
Yeah.
fine. It's good to be uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah.
In the same way it's good for kids to be bored. It's like you need those things to grow and change.
Yeah, because if you're just really stagnant, you're not going to do anything else.
Exactly. And it's so easy, the more stagnant you get, to just kind of stay that way.
Yeah, it's like me turning down money and then having a full 4-month breakdown over it.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, what?
This is normal.
I feel good.
I feel really, really good.
Do you want to talk about the cottage?
The cottage was so fun.
The cottage was so
I want
fun.
to end my life now.
I know.
honestly don't want to
Me
be here
too.
anymore. Now that I've known that there's a way to live,
We went
why don't we all just move in together?
I know. We went to a cottage with our improv troupe, Mrs. Beast. Past, anybody who has been a guest on the podcast that isn't John Green is a part of the improv. If you remember the Titanic days, Ben and Tim were there. Brendan was there.
You guys know Ben, Tim, and Brendan.
Yeah,
We should just start cycling through Mrs. Beast on the pod.
I think so.
so that the girls can all know each other.
Yeah, because I think it's like, there these are characters y'all need to be introduced to,
Yeah. You gotta know. You gotta know what's going on.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It was a bender.
It really was.
Reese was saying, because he was talking to Matt McCready, Toronto Improv King, Ledge.
Yes.
Matt was like, yeah, Reese said to me, he was like, I was talking to Carly on the phone and it just seemed like everyone was doing drugs all weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yes,
And yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I experienced ego death.
we did a drug that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, I know, Canna.
Canna, I've never heard of that.
Before. I didn't do it because I was worried
didn't.
it was gonna make me depressed. Like I don't do generally a lot of hard drugs because I'm worried they're gonna make me depressed. But I'm depressed now anyway. So what the fuck?
From fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had ego death and you recovered. You actually
you.
surprised me in a few ways at that cottage, which
We
is
learned,
that
we got close. We learned a lot about each
we
other.
learned a lot about each other, without even talking, really.
No,
But you had ego death and then you bounced back in a huge way,
pretty fast.
which it was pretty good.
We did shrooms. I had a horrible, horrible trip. I went to bed for 2 hours. Well, we had dinner. I couldn't breathe without thinking about it.
Well, we had dinner, and then I kind of went to wash some dishes, and you came with me, but you didn't really help. You kind of just stood 2 feet away from me looking at my hands.
Yeah, wasn't feeling great already.
Yeah, and so I was like, this is really interesting, because I was also high.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of looked at you, and I was like, you good? And you were like, yep.
I'm going
And
to
I
go
was
to
like,
bed.
and then I was like, if it's good for you to go to bed, just go to bed. And you were like, I'm going to go lie down.
And then I lied down for 2 hours, woke up, before I lied down, when Ben was making dinner, I listened to I Love You, I'm Sorry by Gracie Abrams in my headphones 25 times. A song I didn't know until that day, and now it's on my on repeat. Like, I listened to it however long it takes to make a bunch of eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
That's how long. I listened to just
A long
that
time.
over
Yeah.
and over again. Put me in a headspace.
Yeah. Well, you just today sent that so true to me because on a group chat I saw.
Well, because we were singing that. We were
amazing
singing that at the cottage.
Love that song.
Yeah, and then I fell asleep, woke up, and then just felt like couldn't stop crying. Just
Oh
felt
my
so
God.
bad.
So
And it was like
sad.
fake thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't things I actually felt, but it's like when they talk about an ego death, if it's like
Oh,
your
yeah.
most inner fears that aren't actually real, that you could in a regular life be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I've just be like, everyone, because everyone was downstairs high, having fun, listening to Adela.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Everyone was rolling on Molly in
Yes.
the basement, listening to Adela and playing darts.
Yeah, I'm experiencing ego death in my bed, being like, if I left, no one would notice. Everyone hates me. And then I had to go get water, run into Ben. Ben was really, really good.
Yeah.
And was like, it's going to be okay.
That was the right person for you to run into.
Yes, it would have been good for you too. But I think like if it was somebody
Ben's
else.
got a more calming energy.
And Ben
I
was
think.
very, you could tell Ben had seen it before.
Yes.
Ben was like,
He's
okay.
an expert. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He like locked the fuck in, was ready to go. And then you and Ben came and visited me.
Yeah.
And we talked about stuff. And then it was good. Then we went out to the campfire and it was fine.
Yeah.
But it was intense. It was intense.
Well, you also entered at a good moment, which is when Brendan was going around when Brendan was going around the circle telling everyone why he individually loved them, and you entered right into that, which I think was the right vibe.
Definitely, and he made me cry.
Yeah.
He was so nice. Yeah. He was like, I love you. And I was like, okay.
Thank you, Brendan.
It was really weird. It's like, it really does. I get why people do like kind of shroom. And don't do drugs if you're a kid. I don't know how.
We're not
you know what I mean?
endorsing any of these drugs.
And I will say I did it because I didn't want to be left out. And I regret it. So, if you have to do drugs in a way that you are,
You got to be stoked on doing the drug.
you can't just be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brendan was like being so nice. I felt so like emotions to the surface. I feel like that's why I get why people do like therapy, drug therapy or whatever. I was like, this
sure.
really does just like. I was reading an article when I was high about big feelings and stuff. First, I read an article about Gaza. Huge mistake.
yeah, that's not- no.
which is like when I should have been like, okay,
Yeah, we got
I need to reach out to some friends. And then I was talking about like how people process emotions when you have a bad trip. And a lot of it talks about how like a bad trip can be good for you depending on how well you just process those emotions. It's
Yeah.
kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel those bad emotions, but it's what you do with it that depends how you feel. So it can either just be like, that was awful, or you could be like, I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
And I did learn a lot about myself. And I also was like, I was having all these negative feelings about how nobody liked me. But then like I gave people the room to kind of like show up. And they really did. And everyone really, really
Aw.
did. So I learned a lot.
That's so nice. What
Yeah.
do you feel like you learned about yourself through your bad trip?
I just like my perception of stuff. I feel like I was like, I need to ask for help, I think, more faster. Things got immediately better
Yeah.
when I ran into Ben in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's just like good to cry. Like it's just so good to
Yeah,
cry. I
it
cried
is
so much.
cathartic.
It's still so on the surface for me, like in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling aftershocks a lot recently of
Oh,
just
yeah.
being like lots of crying, but also post-cottage depression.
Yeah.
And then we played on the next day, we played drinking games in a huge way.
Yeah, you're amazing at Stack Cup.
I know. I think I was
Holy
meant to be
shit.
a frat bro.
Well, because like we were playing Stack Cup, and the only people who really knew Stack Cup were those who went to a Canadian university institution, aka me, Gazelle, and Sachin.
Yes, Queen's University in New Ottawa.
Who else knew it?
No,
I think that's it.
Because Tim and I didn't know it because we both went to fake ass universities. I don't know if Ben knew it either. Ben also went to a fake ass arts university. Like all of us who just went
Yeah.
for like random
Yeah.
fake, like at fake, not fake universities, but
No,
universities
yeah.
that have no culture.
No, there's
no university
There's no
life.
beer pong tables.
Exactly. So you had to teach us all.
But Stack Cup is really, really fun, where it's like, it is a drinking game, but like it's fun to play even if you're not drinking.
Yes, you don't have to, like you can play
Yeah.
it without drinking it.
Like it's fairly medium athletic. Like it
Yes.
is like a tabletop game.
But it's like beer pong can be tough.
Yeah.
And if you get really drunk, You can't play beer pong.
Yeah.
Like, you just...
No, you can't.
You can
But
barely...
sack up, you get better.
Yes, you do. You lock the fuck in.
You get better and better. But no, it's really fun. And Carly went off, and you were playing dirty. You were fully cheating. You at one point, because the whole point is like you bounce a ball into the cup, and then if you can move the cup on if you get it in. But if the person is in front of you with another cup, there's two cups.
You stack it on top.
You stack it on top, and then they have to bounce higher.
So it's kind of like a race. Like if you pass,
it
if
is
you pass someone, then they have to drink, kind of.
Yes.
So it's like if we're in line and Blair is trying to get her ball into her cup, and I get my ball into my cup, I can stack it on top of Blair's cup.
And then I have to drink a new cup.
Yes. So then you get drunk. Like if you get passed in the race, you drink more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a little shot of beer. Like it's not like a crazy.
Yeah, it's just like it's not like
it's not a crazy binge.
Yeah, we're not.
Game. A lot of people
back a
there were
bottle of
30.
tequila.
You know what I mean? We can't.
Yeah, like you have to think of this. This is a cottage of 30-year-olds.
Yeah. So like yes.
So like it's no one's going as crazy. Like, no one's euphoria.
No one's euphoria.
No.
People are going to bed. People are watching a movie. You know what I mean? It's not
like
too
intense.
intense.
We're doing lines and we're locking into Cynthia Erivo
Yes,
singing
exactly.
I'm Here. Like
On the first night I went to bed early and I texted Blair and I was like, hey girl, I love you so much. Can you guys turn down Matilda, the musical? Like you're playing it truly so
like, he's
loud.
so
right now.
sorry.
I had my noise canceling headphones on and the little girl's voice was just like piercing through the frequency. Like that the headphones couldn't deal with it. They couldn't block the noise.
Tim's really fucked up and demanded
Matilda
the musical. So sorry about that girl. But yeah, you at one point knocked the stack of cups from Ben. You just knocked it right out. You knocked it off the table.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
and then
I did.
You got really drunk. Everyone got quite drunk.
I
got
got
really
really drunk.
You got really drunk
because we were playing originally with beer and then a little bit of White Claw. And then I didn't know what Cutwater was. That was a new kind of introduction.
Cutwaters are terrifying.
They're insane. They're
Stock
just
up on those. Those are gonna get banned.
it's like four fucking loco. It's like a
Jesus.
17% Mai Tai flavor.
How did they get away with it?
I don't know. So they were pouring that in. So when I had to drink, I was looking at like clear liquid or brown liquid, and before it's like, oh well, I'll always just drink a brown liquid because it's beer. Yeah. It won't get me as drunk. But then the brown liquid was 17% Mai Tai Cutwaters. So I think I literally did two and was like, I can't believe I didn't black out.
No.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't either.
So I got so drunk. I got so much drunker than anyone else.
I've never seen you that drunk.
I don't know if I've been that drunk in a long time.
I was very drunk, but like fine.
Yeah.
Like I kind of knew what I was getting in for.
You went to Queen's University.
I'm used to it. I'm well rung.
Exactly.
But no, and at one point, like Ben was like, Carly's in the bathroom. She's feeling a little sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll go check on her. And you were just kind of like on the floor of the bathroom. You were like,
Not well, yeah.
I'm really nauseous. And I was like, oh no. And you were like, I feel like I need a puke. And Ben was there and he's like, girl, don't puke. It's not worth it. And you were like, okay. And I'm just going to sit here. And then Ben leaves. And I go,
puke.
You got to stick your fingers in your
And I'm terrified of, I haven't vomited I have a kind of fear of vomit in many ways.
Yeah, you hate vomit.
I hate it. I haven't vomited in 7 years. Like I really don't like it. And I remember I did it. I didn't vomit. I closed the lid. You were like, well, don't give up on yourself, girl. And then I immediately just threw, like, I just was like, well, I didn't throw up within 1 second of doing it. So I didn't. Threw up, felt immediately so much better because there was no poison in me anymore. Yeah. Like I will never condone making yourself throw up.
No,
but
terrible.
if you've inadvertently, because you thought Cutwater was beer,
yes,
poisoned yourself.
Oh yeah,
I felt I wasn't even really hungover the next morning.
Yeah,
because it was just like I basically had like a beer and a half that had been absorbed into my bloodstream.
Yeah, and the rest was just sitting in your stomach waiting to destroy
you went, this
your
is
lining.
So gross, but you were like, you eat so healthy, girl. Whoa, you eat
you were throwing out like beans. I was like, good job,
veggies.
So a whole piece of broccoli.
Yeah.
You eat so healthy, girl.
Yeah. And then I felt a lot better. And then we went down to the dock. We rallied
really
quick.
Made a reappearance in a way that I think shocked people.
I know it was like that. Have you seen that meme graph that's like, oh amazing, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh amazing. I feel like that was me the whole cottage. Yeah. I was like so chill and doing nothing until I was like embarrassingly fucked up at 2 points. Where it's like I wasn't doing anything, and then I was like, okay. The first night I had like a beer. Mm-hmm. Second night I was like, okay, I'll do some shrooms. Sobbing. And then the second night been like, okay, I think I'm gonna have 3 beers tonight. And then drunk like I'm 19 years old.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's also when you're playing a game like that, you get so excited. It almost adds to like if you're just sitting around drinking.
It's not
It's not the same as like if you're like, let's go.
And
I have to win.
and people were so happy that I was good at it and playing dirty. People were really involved in that. It felt
I think
to me.
people were shocked.
Yeah, people were like,
oh my,
whoa.
especially because like I don't think that any of us expected you to really do anything that night.
Yeah.
Like I think we all thought you were a little bit out of commission.
I was gonna play to take it easy, and then I went to bed at 2 a.m. and then woke up at 8 to drive back.
Oh yeah,
it was so funny because it was me, Sachin, and Brendan, so hungover. I think I was the least like. Well, Brendan wasn't hungover, but he was just so exhausted. He went to bed like so late that night. So we were all just like kind of hungover and exhausted, and Sachin took a wrong turn off the highway, and we started going into a tunnel. Like it looked like the Holland fucking tunnel. Like we were entering New York. We were like, where? Brendan's asleep in the back. Me and Sachin were like, where are we going? What's happening?
This could be anywhere. Where did you end up?
It was fine, just back on the highway after a while, but it was like we were like underground for a mo.
Okay.
We went to the Tim Hortons and it was just us and farmers.
Horrifying. We also went to the Tim Hortons on the way back when it hit so good. Got a bagel belt.
Ooh.
And an ice cap with milk.
I just got Brendan and Sachin got espresso shots, which I was like
horrifying.
Insane. I got a black coffee and a hash brown. Brought me back to life in a huge way. And I had packed the night before a liquid IV and I drank that.
Yeah,
and I got home and I felt fine.
Yeah, I was like hungover. I was actually really hungover on the day we were leaving. But it was very, very fun.
Crazy.
I had an amazing time. And then I was sad and I laid in bed for 3 days.
Yeah, I'm still feeling it. And not like a hungover, like a hangover kind of vibe. I'm feeling it like I've got no dopamine left to cry. You know what I mean? I've got nothing left in the tank. I'm just feeling sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I know. September's going to be interesting. I'm excited, but I'm a little bit like, huh.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
First day we're back, I finished all of Say Nothing. It was so good. If you need a show to watch, Say Nothing
so
on Apple TV.
You're already, thinking about oppression in a huge way.
This is crazy. And the next day I slept.
Yeah, I got home, did some work, and then basically took like a 4-hour nap, woke up, had soup, watched the TV, and then went back to bed for many, many hours. And then the same thing next, like I keep waking up after sleeping for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Tired. I keep waking up being like, why am I tired?
Yeah. Yeah, I was sleeping so much.
Yeah. I have so much fucking dry cleaning to do too, dude.
Dry cleaning?
I have so much dry cleaning. Just like random winter coats and stuff from when I had bed bugs.
I hear you.
That have been like out in the sun. Like I have killed if there were any there.
Yeah,
but I'm still like,
they're gone.
Let's take this to the dry cleaners just in case they can deal with it.
That stuff. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to lug. I don't have a car. I got to lug this shit.
Sorry, girl.
15 minutes?
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I feel like they do pick it up, but I don't know how expensive. I feel like it's already going to make me
I've
piss
never
on my
taken
ass.
anything to the dry cleaner, and I have to get my dress for my friend's wedding adjusted, and
they are mean. Like I
don't want to go.
I used to get a bunch of stuff hemmed, and then I taught myself how to sew because every single time I'd go to the dry cleaners, they'd be like, "You want it that short?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a whore.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a.
What do you want?
Yes.
What do you want? Yeah,
I do want it that short.
I don't want to do it. I'm just kind of hoping I can wear the really tall shoes.
Yeah, you probably just get big fucking
I'm gonna
platform stilettos.
I'm gonna wear those big Jeffrey Campbell boots, like
yes,
those
dude,
Lita
I know
boots.
exactly what you're talking. You don't even need to specify. I'm there. The ones where you lace
And
up.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's good because your feet are trapped in them. So if you hurt your ankle, you just go down. Like you just
I go down with it.
Yeah, go down
no,
with the
that was
ship.
good. Perfect. Those boots were crazy.
I know. They were so chic at the time.
I was looking at a pair of basically almost skinny jeans the other day and considering buying them. So I feel like something's changed.
I know, but I can't go back.
I don't
the
think
sensory nightmare of it.
There was just like it was like not fully skinny. It was just
But
like
it was a slimmer fit.
it was a slimmer fit.
I
and
like a
was
straight leg.
damn.
I like a straight leg jean.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Oh, but of course I labored over it, and then we were just talking about this before recording. But like, I can't make a purchase to save my life without laboring over it for months.
Yeah, which is I guess kind of good in a way for shopping. It's like you're not doing impulsive purchases, but you've gone all the way around to the opposite of like you can't buy things.
Yeah, I've gone a bit too far. I
Yeah.
think I need to relax on it a bit. I'm like, it's a pair of Gap jeans. I think
Yes.
I'll be fine.
You were looking at the Gap jeans because of the milkshake brings all
Well,
the
yeah,
boys to
also
the
because I
yard," and they're
fucking
like-
had just gotten into. I bought like 2 pairs of American Eagle jeans I really liked, and then the Sydney Sweeney shit came out, and I was like, well, now
What the hell am I supposed to
what the
do?
hell am I supposed to do? Because like I love the Gap. I've been defending the Gap for years.
Yes.
And the moment I go to American Eagle, Sydney Sweeney ruins it.
Yeah.
So now,
So now you got to go back to the Gap.
The
support
Gap
Cat's
is
Eye.
also low-key kind of a cool corporate. They were one of the first corporations to give like benefits to like spouses, like gay spouses.
Hell yeah.
I
love
remember
Gap.
when I worked at Gap Kids.
I kept joking on the when I went to PEI, whenever like because somebody who was there was wearing a Gap sweatshirt like that said Gap on it. I was like, you know what Gap stands for? Gay ass people. Gay ass people.
I love Gap Kids. That was a cute store, but they didn't like me. I'm really bad at working retail.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not a saleswoman.
You need to be behind a bar.
Yeah, I'm telling you to stop doing things.
Yeah, you're like, you don't need it though, do you?
You don't need this.
You do because you labor over your purchases so much. You're like, but if you go online, you can compare the thread count and like the material to others and the price point and see what's best for your baby.
Exactly. Also, the Gap is so much cheaper online. It's crazy. If you go to the store, it's so expensive.
I was on their website, obviously, but I was like, there's nothing I need. I actually just like don't need anything for a long time. Mm-hmm. But I like that little shirt that Megan was wearing in the Cat's Eye Gap ad. The kind of like
that one. It's on
denim, that little denim tank top.
Denim tank.
But I'm like, who am I? I'm gonna wear a denim tank?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I need to do a decent amount of fall shopping, but nothing crazy. I feel like I really, really desperately needed spring and summer clothes, and I really shopped.
Yeah,
in a way that I hadn't in a while.
Yeah,
but I feel like for fall, I just need like a couple sweaters, maybe some new pants.
I love that.
Yeah,
I don't need anything, but there's nothing I love more than like fall shopping.
I know. I think I might go thrifting tomorrow, actually, but we'll see because now I have an audition to do.
Ruining your plans to thrift.
Ruining my plans to buy things. I have to go back to my old apartment tomorrow, and it's my last day with access to it. So I gotta go and make sure. Honestly, my bike, which is fused to its lock.
Oh, mine too. I can't, dude. My upstairs neighbors will be like, "Whose bike is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's mine. The key doesn't work anymore. It's just there." I'm like, "Can somebody just bring a saw and unsaw it?"
My friend is like her boyfriend has a bunch of power tools, and so I think eventually I'll get him to come saw it off. But my bike is in such fucked up condition that like by the time I went and got all the repairs done, I might as well just buy a new bike.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel.
Yeah, because my bike was never really working properly.
Should we get into Bobby?
Yes, let's do it.
Thank you. So we're, of course, talking about Bobby, or RFK Sr., the 7th Kennedy kid, JFK's younger brother.
The hottie with
the body. And he's always an interesting kind of case study to me because he, to me, is the real one. We always think about, like, JFK's assassination as, like, a what could have been. But he was like the real kind of lefty. I mean, as far as a mainstream politician can in the 60s in America can be.
Yeah.
But like he was like big into like civil rights and anti-Vietnam and all these things. So it's like he to me is kind of the real like what if he had become like, even if he wasn't, president, like could have been like a Bernie Sanders kind of senator type, whatever. Also, I just needed somebody should be alive to tell RFK Jr. to be like, get it together.
I know, isn't that so upsetting?
I know.
It's like all these like mean gay guys. It's like this is what the AIDS crisis really killed was your sense of humanhood.
Explain,
Kyle.
Explain.
Just these mean gay men.
Oh yeah,
it's like you need someone to tell you to get in line. Me. But I was reading, or I was on a podcast or something, but someone was saying that like Bobby Kennedy like went down to like this really poor area in like the South and saw kids who like
we'll talk about
food
this
and stuff like that. It was like, and like he was just like very woke to it.
Yeah, there was kind of a journey. Like I knew some of this already, and then I watched on Netflix. They have like a Bobby Kennedy for President 4-part documentary that I'm still working through right now. Because I didn't know a lot of his earlier stuff, his earlier songs.
Didn't know his earlier his EP.
Yeah, I didn't know his EP and stuff like that before he had signed with
the
like a big
tapes.
before he had signed like a major record deal or whatever.
Yeah. He was an odd future.
A big thing like when he really started to get into politics was like a lot of people that he knew from working at the Justice Department or whatever were kind of like, this is kind of like an ambitious Nepo baby. Like, I don't really, like, he's like a rich kid. I don't think he has what it takes, whatever.
Yeah.
But then through a lot of this activism work he did when he was attorney general and afterwards, he really like saw injustice in front of him, and it changed him a lot because he was already very justice driven and very like kind of a dog with a bone. Like that's why he became a lawyer. He's a very classic, I think, like lawyer personality when I think about it, like somebody that's like, well, what happened?
Yeah.
Like wants closure on all those things. But when he like went around America and he went to different places in the world also and like saw that inequality, it kind of changed him. we will get into like there are some parts of his policy and his politics that are obviously unsavory, especially thinking about now. Like Israel and Palestine really does play heavily into him because he was assassinated by a Palestinian man.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't know
Tea?
because I grew up in America, where in America they're very much like that's not a country.
Yeah.
Like I never really learned about it.
Yeah.
So they reported him to be like a Jordanian man because his family eventually did move from you know, some would say move, some would say
got displaced.
To a part of Palestine that was annexed by Jordan.
Okay,
so they're like,
sure.
oh, it's a Jordanian man or whatever. Because but he was a Christian Palestinian man who eventually came to America.
Okay.
And in part assassinated Bobby because of his support of Israel.
Oh my God.
So we will be talking about that a bit. That assassin is also an interesting case study because, you know, like most people who do commit acts of violence, they are mentally ill, and we can explore the systems that made them mentally ill. Like, I don't think that undoes the pain that they're feeling. A lot of times society, it's the Luigi Mangione of it all. It's like society makes you insane.
It does.
You know? But Bobby's assassin is like unwell. Like, he's still alive. Still in prison, which is insane.
Holy crap. Okay.
Well, and he'll be like, there was a period afterwards where he was like, yeah, I did it, and this is why. Then he was like, I don't know why I did it. I blacked out. I don't know why I did it. Like, then he was like, I didn't do it. It changes a lot. He's obviously troubled. So let's say that. But two things can be true, right? Like, and that's, I think, a thing that gets missed with a lot of discussions like this of like, somebody can be mentally ill and also like, why did they do it? Why were they that way? There's context.
It's like the Rolling Stones say. I shouted out, who killed the Kennedys? When after all, it was you and me.
It was you and me. So there you go.
Sympathy for the devil.
Oh, yeah. We were looking the other day at the top Rolling Stones songs on Spotify.
It's always shocking.
Guess the number one song.
It's Paint It Black.
It's Paint It Black.
Yeah. Yep.
Why?
I know it's whack.
Why is it
I know it's whack.
Paint It Black?
Because that's their most popular song.
But that's their most popular song.
Because it was on like Guitar Hero too, right? But no, Paint It Black is like easily.
I know that song, but I just couldn't believe how much more popular it was than like I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
No, Satisfaction I don't even crack top 5.
I think it was top 3.
Was it? Okay, then it would be Start Me Up.
Yeah, then Start Me Up. Yeah.
Paint It Black, Start Me Up, You Can't Always Get What You Want.
Yep. It was shocking to me. It was exponentially more popular than all the other ones.
No, Paint It Black is like
I know Paint It Black.
Universally known Rolling Stones.
Like, I like that song.
Yeah.
Because I also know that they use the sitar because the Beatles went to India in a way that a white person only can.
Yeah.
It makes it their entire personality.
And to be totally fair, I think the Rolling Stones use the sitar better because they actually used a variety of instruments on the regular in their songs.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's right that they use the sitar, but at least they didn't just do, I'm singing a song about a guru I met on my travels.
Yeah, the Beatles are complicated.
At least the Rolling Stones stuck to one thing. I'm the devil. He's the devil. Let's make rock and roll. Well, also, I'm rich.
That's the thing that I think really works about the Rolling Stones versus the Beatles. And obviously, we made a whole series on the Beatles. We love the Beatles. We stand the Beatles. We love the Beatles. I would love to do a series on the Rolling Stones. The thing that I think I love about the Rolling Stones is like you really do see the impact that wealth has on people's like creative output. Where if you're a rich kid, the world really opens to you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's like they're not really running from something. They're like, no, we're going to be kind of barfly, whatever, as opposed to having like the Beatles having to be like, we have to prove that we're like, we're not working class.
Well, it's the same with Motown too. Like they dress them all up in like suits and dresses and stuff. Whereas like now it's just like anytime someone is trying to look like really slummy, that
it's like the Yeezy sweatshirts with like holes in them for $500 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Also saying this, staring at this horrifying portrait of the Rolling Stones that I
can't get rid.
I will never get rid of it.
When we moved into your new house and Christina's like, oh. It's come. Oh, we're taking the massive portrait of the Rolling Stones
in the '80s composite group photo.
Pretty big.
None of them. They're all photoshopped on top of each other. None of them were actually there. Sorry, I should feel like I should like insert an image of this.
There was a couple. I think in one of our first Kennedy episodes, it's in the background.
Oh, yeah,
I think
it was in
your old kitchen. Yeah. So if you watch those on YouTube, you can see the massive Kennedy photo. I'm not the massive Rolling Stones photo.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bobby was born on November 20th, 1925 in Brookline, Massachusetts. Had to burp.
November 25.
20th.
20th? Is he a Sag or a Scorpio then?
I hope he's a Sag, because you know how I feel about fucking Scorpios. My beef with them.
I'm gonna find it real quick.
And if you're a Scorpio, I love you. It's just a lot for me.
I like Scorpios.
Well, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio moon,
Sometimes.
and that's, you know,
Oh yeah,
he's a Scorpio. He's a Scorpio. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's tough for us.
Okay.
I do really think we've obviously joked that I am JFK on this podcast, and I do actually think my younger sister Katie is Bobby. Like reading this,
Like your what story is Bobby?
Katie, my younger sister, is Bobby
Oh,
to
yeah,
my
and,
JFK,
and you're JFK.
because Bobby had a lot to prove because they called him like the runt of the litter. He was the seventh child. I think the youngest boy.
Yeah.
So he had a lot to prove, and he was very much there, like in service of the other Kennedys, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was there to help Jack, all those things. So he was very hungry. He kind of put people off a bit in the beginning because they kind of felt like there was two sides to his personality. He was very, very charming, handsome, funny, just like easy to talk to. Really, people really liked him. He was very, very charismatic.
Yeah.
But beneath that, he was very, very smart and incredibly ambitious, and
Cool.
would kind of do what he needed to do to get where he needed to go.
Okay.
So he went to Harvard, as the Kennedys do,
Love.
dropped out and joined the Navy when Joe Jr. died,
Damn. Okay.
but then came back. He returned to Harvard after the war and was a lettered football player,
Okay. Love.
which, you know, we know what that means.
And it's when. So here's the thing: when you start playing football, they go, "You're 1, 2, 3." But
Right.
then if you get really good,
you get a letter.
ABC.
Yeah, so he got ABC.
And then if you're really, really good, they go do, re, mi.
Whoa, well, he didn't get
Yeah.
there, but he got lettered.
Okay, that's cool.
He played in a bunch of games with his leg in a cast.
Dude, the past was awesome.
Which is like, if
Let's
somebody's doing that, I'm like,
go.
we need to discuss your relationship with your father, because nobody's doing that if they have a normal, chill relationship with their father. It's like that's something that you do when you're like, Dad, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me,
Daddy,
please look at me.
Daddy, I'm pushing through for you, Daddy.
But none of his brothers lettered in football, so he was able to kind of, you know, differentiate himself. He was maybe
Yeah.
the true athletic Kennedy.
Okay, good
You
for
know,
him.
the kind of idea of these athletic
Yeah.
Kennedys is more of a narrative.
He actually was an athlete.
But he was actually athletic.
He could have gone pro if it wasn't for that ACL.
He was supposed to be in the video.
What's that from?
Madison Beer. I was actually supposed to be in the video.
Oh yeah. Wait, what video?
The Thank You Next video.
Oh yeah.
So they're talking to her. They're like, "Did you see Thank You Next?" And she's like, "I was actually supposed to be in the video." That poor girl. I don't need to be making fun of her.
so
She's, you know, she's in the trenches.
Madison Beer.
Yeah.
I think she's fun.
She'll be fine, but you know. So he graduates with a degree in government from Harvard and then spends 3 years getting
Amazing
a law
degree.
degree from the University of Virginia.
That's exactly Christina's track.
Yeah, you're with Bobby.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Except she has no interest in helping the world.
She just wants to dominate. Well, he didn't have interest in helping the world at this time.
Yeah.
He only had interest in helping the world in the way that a Kennedy kind of could, insofar as it could serve you.
Yeah.
And your kind of altruistic worldview. And in a way, it is a bit of a narcissistic thing of being like, we were raised with so much, it's our duty to give back.
Yes.
And
That's
kind
nice.
of I have a soft spot for the Kennedys, even though I do think, generally speaking, most of this stuff, they're not like perfect, but they're like my royal family. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
I like them, even though I don't like them.
It's also like, how are you gonna have perfect idols when like idolatry is reserved for the rich and the famous, and the rich and the famous are the most corrupt?
Yeah, these traumatized Catholics are not perfect. Also, like, to succeed in politics to the level that they did, you just have to have bad takes, which
Yeah,
sucks, but it
exactly.
is true. So at this time, he travels around Europe and the Middle East as a special correspondent for the Boston Post, very similar to kind of the JFK of it all, of like, get your name out there.
Yeah,
They're
that's
doing
nice.
that. He goes to Lebanon, Palestine, Turkey, Greece, and Italy. While touring, you know, the part of Palestine that we now call Jerusalem because of the occupation. He is at 22 and gets kidnapped by what eventually becomes the IDF.
Okay.
So they blindfold him
Jesus.
and they bring him to the headquarters, and they tell him to stay off the streets.
Okay.
So he's, you know, some things never change.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
It's I just bring it up to be like, this was not a narrative that was ever introduced to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know until I started researching this, because of so much that I learned about the Kennedys was when I was younger in America.
Yeah.
And America is obsessed with being like, everything's fine down there. Don't worry about what's going on in the Middle
Yeah.
East. It's fine.
So we got it under control.
We got it under control. Those are our allies.
Yeah.
All good. That I found it so interesting to
Those
be
are my
like,
brothers.
oh.
Yeah.
First of all, this is something that's been going on for a long time, which we all know consciously, but it's interesting when it weaves in with history.
Oh, yeah, when it's actually
You're
apparent.
like, yeah, okay, so it has been. We're not
Yeah.
just saying that this has been going on for forever.
Yeah.
And it affects politics, and it has. Okay, so that's where he's doing all that. He goes to University of Virginia for law school. In 1945, Bobby meets Ethel Skakel, who's a Catholic socialite.
Cool.
Huge. I feel like you should put that as your bio on Instagram.
Catholic socialite.
Yeah. That feeling when you're
Perfect.
Catholic.
That feeling when you're Catholic. I want that in a baby tee, I've decided.
Oh, wait.
Wouldn't that go crazy?
Just Catholic. Or like those little shorts. It says it on the butt.
Yeah, Catholic. I would wear Catholic sweat shorts. I would get disowned by my family.
You're just such a Protestant fan.
No, they're Catholic, but they all
But they-
left Catholicism.
Oh, yeah, on account of very real issues with the church.
Yeah, they were like, we can't.
So Ethel meets Gene Kennedy while studying at Manhattanville College and during a ski trip where the group went to Mount Tremblant in Quebec.
Huge.
In 1945, that's where Ethel meets Bobby. On this trip, Bobby actually started dating her older sister, Patricia, but when they broke up, he started dating Ethel.
That's cool. That's a cool way to get to meet your wife.
Yeah, it's very Charles and Diana core.
Run through her sister first.
Yeah.
Gotta-
If the older and wiser sister goes, no way. But the younger sister's like, maybe me? I can fix him. Older sister is very much being like, absolutely not. And younger sister core is very much being like, I can fix him.
Yeah.
I'm different.
I can help.
And you can't.
Let me in there.
So they get engaged in February of 1950 and they get married June 17th of 1950.
Huge.
Bobby graduates from law school in 1951, but in the spring of 1951, Bobby invites Ralph Bunche, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. That's what they call it, obviously.
Cool.
And so here's a quick thing. Would argue not.
Don't think it ended.
Would argue not. Would not. He was the UN's chief mediator, and he was a black man. So that was kind of a big thing at the time, obviously.
Okay, cool.
Because we're in the 50s.
The 50s.
So things are rough.
Bit of a rough time, yeah.
Bit of a rough time.
Mm.
Bunche refused to speak in front of the segregated audience at the University of Virginia where he was invited to speak. He's like, I'm not speaking in front of a segregated audience, which, hey, fair enough.
And fair, yeah.
And fair enough. So then Bobby makes an impassioned speech to the board and the, what's the president of the university called? Like a principal?
dean?
The dean, yeah. And they integrate the audience.
Cool.
So we see a bit, Bobby does have a real interest in civil rights. It gets, I would say, more real as he actually sees and meets black people.
Sure, yeah.
But he's still, at the time, he's a very justice-driven person.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, stories of him when he was at school always kind of siding with the underdog. He was very based on fairness. And he saw racial injustice and segregation as unfair, which, hey,
Point.
hit the nail on the head with that one.
Good one, Bobby. Star.
So he was very much even from a lack of a passionate standpoint, just this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is unconstitutional, because that was a big thing during the civil rights movement in the 1950s into the 60s, was that some of these things had been ruled as unconstitutional, but the government wasn't enforcing that.
Yeah. They were just letting them get away
We
with
see that with
it.
the Freedom Riders, which happens more when Bobby is the attorney general, where it's a group
Yeah.
of young black men who are riding interstate buses because it was ruled that segregation on interstate buses was unconstitutional, and at interstate bus stations it was unconstitutional, but it wasn't being enforced in segregated states.
Yeah.
So that's another part of, I think, when white stories kind of flatten the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Of being it was bad and then it was good, where it's no,
We fixed it.
they said it was unconstitutional, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, we don't actually want to do that.
We just kind of want to rock with that. So anyways, we'll get more into his relationship with civil rights and things like that, but he is very, very passionate about it, just even from a law standpoint. Ethel and Bobby moved to D.C. following Bobby's graduation from law school, and he starts working at the Justice Department and working on JFK's campaigns.
Cool.
In 1952, he's an attorney at the Department of Justice and manages his brother's second successful Senate campaign. In 1954, RFK Jr. is born. Boo. Boo.
RFK?
Yeah.
That's his direct ass son.
Yeah.
Why did I think he... Oh my God.
Well, because RFK used to have good politics, and then
That's crazy. A worm ate his brain.
Which we will talk about. We have to do an RFK. RFK Jr. is like a hyperfixation of mine. I'm obsessed with him in the way that I'm obsessed with, I guess, like a car crash. And the way that when you're driving on a highway, you are in many ways obsessed with the car crash on the side of the road. You can't look away.
Yeah.
Because RFK Jr. was a huge environmentalist for a really long time.
Yeah.
And he coasts now a lot on the past good things he did before a worm ate his brain. And I'm not saying that as a joke. A worm ate his brain. He ate so much tuna. He ate so much fucking canned tuna. And that's the one thing I'm aligned with RFK Jr. on.
Yeah.
Is I, too, would eat canned tuna every single day if given the option.
If a worm wouldn't eat my brain, I would eat canned tuna
every day. But the mercury levels got so high because he got mercury poisoning and his immune system failed. And a worm parasite got in his brain and ate his brain and he went insane. This is like legal documents. Like, this is not like a conspiracy theory. Like, this is like he said it on the stand. Like, it's which is why it's so funny that he's also he's like running the Department of Health or whatever. Well,
he's going to make sure that the worms damn well don't get in your brain. So we can rest easy. No more brain worms for us.
And thank you, sir.
And also no vaccines.
Yeah. But it's his direct ass son. RFK
That's crazy.
Senior's son is Bobby. And this is the thing you see with the Kennedys all the time is it's like they just kind of like let their kids run wild and do fucked up shit in Hyannisport while they're doing other stuff, which is another reason why all the kids are absolutely nuts is because they have no parental figures and are allowed to do whatever they want.
So that like makes sense now that you say it, but like hearing it like that was crazy.
Yeah, it feels like these people exist in very, very different times, but I always have to remind myself that like my mom was alive when JFK was killed.
Yeah, same.
Which is nuts, but it's like, but it feels kind of crazy.
Sense.
The 60s feel like such a different time, just even in terms of like aesthetics than like the 80s. You know, as opposed to like the 80s and 2000s, which feel a lot closer.
Well, maybe the 70s feel closer than the 60s. Like the 60s very much feel like the past, whereas like the 70s still feel.
It's got to be like black and white photographs, right? That's got to be a part of it.
I think it's television too.
Yeah,
like, television changes so much in the 70s or in the 60s.
So now we're getting into the point where Bobby starts kind of making a name for himself. Something that I found really interesting, I was watching that documentary and they have a lot of clips during JFK's presidential run. And there was lots of jokes that the siblings would make and people who were like, you know, introducing them on stage or interviewers or whatever, talking about how people couldn't tell the Kennedy kids apart. Like the Kennedys were almost this like blob. Yeah. Where you're electing the Kennedys, you're not electing JFK. They couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah. It's just an idea.
There was some story where when JFK was running for president, he was on a plane and he was sitting next to this little old woman and he was like, and it was her first time on the plane and she was like, oh, you're one of those Kennedy boys, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you did really good work when you were with the Department of Racketeering going against Jimmy Hoffa. And he's like, nope, sorry, that's my brother. And then she's like, oh, well, you just had a new baby, didn't you? And he goes, no, that's my other brother. And then she goes, oh, okay. Well, you tell your brother good luck with his presidential campaign. He's like, that's me. That's me. Which is obviously like, you hear it and you're like, okay, so the Kennedy machine crafted that story in some way.
Yeah, sure.
It's such a good narrative there's no way that happened in real life. But that's the kind of idea at the time of being like, nobody knows which of the Kennedy wives are not sisters. Nobody knows. It's the Kennedy machine. Nobody knows who they are. But Bobby starts making a name for himself. Because in 1957, he becomes a part of the Senate Rackets Committee, which is a bipartisan group put together by the Senate to crack down on organized crime in the Teamsters and unions. Yes. So that would be like, you know, people who are at the head of the unions would be doing embezzlement from other people's like pension plans and stuff like that.
Well, this is Jimmy Hoffa.
This is Jimmy Hoffa.
There we go.
Misusing union funds, tax evasion, things like that. A lot of the Teamsters were just like involved with the mob. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of money to be made in unions, especially at that time, and the mob kind of saw that and were like, let's go. Yeah. Joe Sr. really didn't want Bobby to do this because he was like, I, first of all, love the mob. And so much of the kind of Kennedy appeal is on the working class vote, and he was worried this would alienate the working class vote. Yeah. And I do think we should do a whole episode, if we wanted to, about Bobby and Jimmy Hoffa, because it seems so complicated. I feel like I only have a bit of a understanding of it, but we'll do a quick run over.
Yeah, because when I was trying to read about it for the Marilyn Monroe episode, I was like, this just seems like I've tapped into something that could take me years to fully understand.
This is how I feel even now. Yeah. So there was So he's cracking down on crime. Bobby takes down the Teamsters president for tax evasion and larceny. And then he sets his sight on the VP, Jimmy Hoffa. These are the Teamsters for trucking. So that's a union for trucking. Okay. Trucking industry. And he knows that Hoffa is crooked, but he can't really prove it. And they just fucking hate each other. Bobby sees Hoffa as this kind of like tough guy crook. And Hoffa sees Bobby as this like rich kid.
Yeah.
And they just fucking hate each other. And it's really good TV.
Oh,
and
nice.
Bobby, people say as well, kind of saw as this went on, the drama of this got him famous.
Yeah.
And kind of was like, okay.
Yeah.
Playing into it, whatever. So Hoffa tried to bribe officials, had dissidents killed, worked with the mob. But he saw himself still as this kind of like protector of the little guy. Like all of this in the effort to kind of close ranks with the union or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with that 100%.
Maybe not the best way to do it.
But whatever. Also, a labor news columnist was called out Hoffa in his column for saying that like people like the Teamsters are embezzling funds.
Yeah.
And then he got blinded by acid.
Oh my God.
So like shit's go like it's like the mob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
they can just do whatever they want at the end of the day.
Exactly. So Bobby becomes obsessed with Hoffa. They would stare at each other during the questioning. Hoffa would wink at him. There's a photo of him flipping off Bobby. One night, Bobby was driving home and saw the lights on in Hoffa's office and turned around to go back to work. Like, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He was kind of like a dog with a bone. It produced very little actual indictments in taking down the Teamsters, very little arrests or things that have actually gotten proven.
Sure.
But was very, very good politics for Bobby.
Yeah. It's going to make you look amazing.
Definitely, because in the end, like, the working class was like, well, this is bad for us. Like, if people, like, the working class did identify with
We do
him.
need our pensions.
Yes. So it ended up being good. We can't go through all of the Hoffa stuff. Jimmy Hoffa, like, went missing in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, insane shit's going on there.
He went missing.
Yeah. He just went missing.
I feel like my sister, maybe we should have Brooke on to do just a Jimmy Hoffa
I would
segment.
love that.
So I feel like she knows a lot about Jimmy Hoffa.
She's the one that responds to
She's always Jimmy Hoffa on Partyful. It's so confusing. If I do my birthday party, it's like Jimmy Hoffa's coming.
What do you mean Jimmy Hoffa's coming?
Huh?
Yes.
What?
So that happens. He gets famous because of that. And they really like use, again, this whole Kennedy angle. There's an interview where they're talking to Bobby, Ethel, and their two kids being like, do their kids know that their dad's such a, movie star? And then Ethel, who's very like funny and charming and is like, they definitely know that he's a big television star. And I think that was shown by the night when the trial went 15 minutes into Mickey Mouse and they were like not happy with their father that night or whatever. Very like, very just personable.
Yes.
So then Bobby runs JFK's presidential campaign and the whole, again, we talked about this. You can go to the JFK presidential episode if you want, but it's basically like the Kennedy machine is running this campaign.
Yeah.
And Bobby's at the helm. Bobby becomes famous because of this as well, because Bobby's there. No one could tell them apart, which I said before. There's a really funny clip where doing one of these events for JFK's presidential run, the person introduces Bobby as JFK's son.
That's funny.
And he just like does this whole part of the speech being like, thank you for being here for my father, like it's like and then saying like, oh my aunt Eunice and my whatever, like going through and kind of playing along. Gets a big applause break because he's he's so smart on his feet or whatever.
He's
very just
such
a good
a
speaker.
silly guy.
He's just a silly little guy.
He's just a silly guy.
And when JFK wins the presidency, Bobby becomes attorney general and he's tough on crime.
Let's go.
Now we get a bit more into his kind of civil rights era. As I said before, in 1961, that's when the Freedom Riders, which was a group of civil rights activists, began riding interstate buses to oppose segregation on those interstate buses because it had already been ruled by the Supreme Court unconstitutional to segregate interstate buses.
Yeah.
Because you're going from unsegregated places to segregated places.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
I'm also saying that because I always forget that like there are people who like listen to the podcast who don't know about like the civil rights. Like people don't always have the context, like if you're from Germany, you might not like necessarily understand the intricacies
also,
of segregation.
The way that we're taught about the civil rights movement, I feel like is really like a journey of learning about it than unlearning about it because all the narratives are very whitewashed. And
they're like, well, then a white person came in and did some really good shit.
A white person really helped out.
Guys, we did good work that day.
A white person really helped out.
Yes. So in 1961, he deployed troops to protect the Freedom Riders as they were staging their protest.
Hey, good for him.
Good guy. In response to the Freedom Riders, he also ordered the Interstate Commerce Commission to end segregation on interstate bus terminals. I wrote it as end integration, which would imply that he resegregated the bus terminals. But
and
he
then
did.
Bobby resegregated.
he integrated them. He desegregated them. He ordered them to as the attorney general.
That's so funny. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
In September of 1962, he deploys deputies to provide support as James Meredith becomes the first black student to enroll in the University of Mississippi.
Let's go.
He assisted his brother in negotiations during the Cuban Missile Crisis and was crucial in negotiations with the Soviet ambassador.
That's cool.
And of course, the Cuban Missile Crisis, if you don't know, little cliff notes, it's just like the moment we came closest to a nuclear war was when like the Soviet Union was like going to send missiles to America, and America was going to send missiles to the Soviet Union, and then they didn't. But there was a moment there where everyone was like, "That's it." Yeah. I will say, like, I think Bobby, when you do like a timeline of Bobby, he's kind of got a Forrest Gump-like quality to him, where he's at so many huge moments in history.
Yeah.
And it kind of is nice to be like, so things have always been pretty crazy. Like,
it
can kind of feel
nice.
like now everything's really crazy, and it is.
Yeah.
But it's also so crazy in the 50s and 60s.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, we were talking about this last time too, where it's just like everything's been nuts forever.
Everything's just always been insane.
Yeah. Like when I was watching Say Nothing, like one of the things they were talking about is like, oh, like you can't even really pinpoint when any of this starts because it's just been crazy forever.
Yes,
like,
it's just always been
a
something.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's like every generation is in the thick of it because it's always the thick of it.
Yeah, there's no start.
Yeah.
Huge.
Which is crazy.
Insane, but very true.
Yeah.
In June of 1963, Bobby sends Deputy Attorney General Nicholas D. Katzenbach to escort Vivian Malone and James A. Hood as they enroll in the University of Alabama. These were black students enrolling in the Alabama University, which was previously segregated. The governor of Alabama tries to block the door, loser shit.
Not the governor coming down.
To block the door with his little body.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just be like, I don't want you going in. Imagine the bravery to do that and then just being faced with like the most idiotic little man.
It's Mitch fucking McConnell in the door.
And you're just like representing every
and
student
you can't
who couldn't
aggressive.
access higher
like
learning.
you can't push him to the ground like you want to because
you can't just slap the shit out of his head.
Even though you want it, you have to be like dignified. It sucks. There's like a certain quality to white people in history where it's like not only have we been evil, we've also just been so fucking embarrassing at so many points. I'm like, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
You have work to do, bitch. You're at the university blocking the door with your fucking body.
Yeah.
Get out. Okay, so that he does that. He sends the deputy attorney general John to be like, no, let them go to school. You let them go to school. So they do. That night, JFK delivers a speech calling civil rights a moral issue, which was a phrasing that RFK had urged himself, saying we should say it's a moral issue.
Sure.
Great. On July of 1963, he testifies before the Senate Commerce Committee on behalf of the Civil Rights Act, which basically outlaws discrimination in all its forms, like on the base. It's the one that's like on the basis of race, gender, whatever, all that stuff.
On the basis of sex.
Exactly.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Biopic.
So he testifies in support of it, and he says, America's answer to the intolerant man is diversity, the very diversity which our heritage of religious freedom has inspired. Because he's a Catholic, so he gets it. November 22nd, 1963, JFK is assassinated.
Damn.
Lyndon B. Johnson, of course, is sworn in and basically begins to slowly push Bobby out of the administration. So Bobby's got to figure out his own shit to do.
OBJ is such a fucker.
I know. In July of the next year, 1964, the Civil Rights Act passes.
Slay.
And in August 22nd, 1964, Bobby announces his intent to run for the New York Senate.
Okay, let's go.
He's the new, political future of the family.
Yeah.
And he's the young hot one who's very liberal is kind of the vibe. Like he's more liberal than JFK. Yeah. He did work for McCarthy. So like JFK, he was a little anti-commie kind of bootlicker. But at the time, it's hard, right?
Well, it's also kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like it'd be akin to being like anti-terrorism now, where it's like, you can't defend the terrorists if the terrorists are the current enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's also like, they were Catholic. Yeah. And it's kind of like how Obama had to be the biggest war criminal president of all time because he was black and he had to like so many people who were so bigoted.
I love war.
Well,
it's literally that where it's like Obama
they're like,
was so anti-terrorist because it was like
he can't not be.
Yeah, he can't even start with the nuance.
Yeah. So it's like Bobby has to be like, yes, I'm Catholic, but I hate communists.
Yes, I hate communists.
Yes. So that's on August 22nd. On August 27th, he receives a 22-minute standing ovation at the DNC after giving a speech. And everyone's like, this is the new future of the
Okay, it's
Democratic
getting
Party.
cans.
Yes, the Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes?
22-minute
Is it
standing
con or
ovation.
cans? It's got to be con.
I think it could be both.
Cans?
I think it's both.
Con.
Con.
Gotta get that 25%, baby.
So he is the future of the Democratic Party.
Okay,
This
iconic.
new Kennedy, he's so well spoken.
Love
He's
him.
so personable.
Wow.
He's the
hates
future.
communists. He's the
But
future.
he hates communists.
Yeah, he's the future.
January 4th, 1965, he is sworn in as senator.
Okay, Soleil.
In June of 1966, he travels to South Africa and delivers the Day of Affirmation address. At the time, the United States, on a good day, is complicit in apartheid, and on a bad day, just fully supports apartheid. But he was anti-apartheid and gives a speech, basically, and meets with black leaders in South Africa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in his speech, he says, each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance.
Okay, so
there you
he's a writer.
Yep.
Did he use quotation marks, though? I'm joking. Sorry.
he's
I'm
Sally
making
Rooney.
a terrible Sally Rooney joke. Just absolutely zero context Sally
Just
Rooney joke.
confusing.
Just confusing, kind of out of nowhere. Just feel like I haven't said anything funny in 15 minutes.
So you got to get in there and try.
Yeah.
You
Like,
must
oh,
have the shots you don't take. You got to, comedy's a shots on net kind of situation, you know?
Believe in yourself.
You got to believe in yourself.
Believe.
In December 10th of 1966, he announces a major revitalization effort in Brooklyn's Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood, like basically just an innovative partnership. It's with private enterprises and federal enterprises to revitalize Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have enough information on Brooklyn to be like, obviously it's revitalized in the sense that it's gentrified, but maybe it needed it. I don't have enough information.
Yeah.
But he was doing that. That's a big thing when he was senator of New York. He revitalized Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Somebody in Brooklyn probably knows a lot more if that's actually good.
I feel like I know a bit about this, but I don't know enough that I feel confident talking about it without checking it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in April of 1967, he tours the Mississippi Delta.
Okay.
Which is what you were talking about before. He views firsthand poverty and systematic inequality. It's a very, very impoverished part of America, and very impoverished specifically to black families who are still feeling kind of like the aftershocks of civil rights movement and just slavery, basically. Yeah. And this really changes him. He was always against like segregation and racism, but this I think really was like, I need to do stuff, because he basically returns to Senate and starts spearheading bills and actions to send aid and food and support to these places. Like he's very, I think this kind of, there's like a before and after of this trip specifically, where it was still building, where he was very much in support of the civil rights movement, but also in a way that allows him to kind of sit in his office and help in his office. You know what I mean? Whereas this him being like, people need help. Yeah. You know? It's less of a like political kind of
He's like,
ideology.
I gotta be on the ground.
It's something that affects real people.
Yeah.
In March of 1968, Bobby travels to Delano, California to break bread with United Farm Workers leader Cesar Chavez. Do you know him?
No.
So he's like a big kind of union leader guy, but also, as with a lot of people who like lead those movements, kind of becomes a bit culty and single-mindedness or whatever. He was basically like the union leader of a large amount of primarily Mexican like ranch workers. Okay. And was trying to bring awareness to the bad conditions that they face. Okay. And he would mobilize with like the Filipino farm workers and all those things, and they would they organized a lot of grape strikes where they would refuse to pick grapes, and they would encourage people who were breaking the strike to not pick grapes too, and pick it outside their houses or whatever. Yeah. He also did a lot of stuff that like the union workers were kind of like, he's a complicated man. Yeah. It's very interesting. Because again, somebody like this who has these kind of leadership abilities is also a crazy person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he organized a 25-day hunger strike where he wasn't eating to raise awareness for the very bad working conditions of farm workers, specifically migrant workers. Yeah. He agrees to break bread and invited Bobby Kennedy to be the guest of honor, and they broke bread together. Cool. And then that was in the beginning of March 1968. And March 16th, 1968, Bobby announces his bid for the U.S. presidency.
Okay.
He asked Cesar Chavez to be his delegate in California, like his representative in California during the primaries and stuff like that. So he's very much like union man of the people.
Yeah.
But is for not just for white people, but for all, champion of the underdog. On April 4th of 1968, he gives an impromptu speech in Indianapolis following the assassination of MLK. He had earlier that day given a couple of just like political speeches.
Yeah.
And then as he was leaving, he learned about the news and was like, I just need to talk to people about this. And people were kind of expecting more of a political speech, but it was really more just about MLK's influence.
Yeah.
He went to a predominantly black area and spoke to a predominantly black audience who had not even heard the news of MLK's passing yet.
Oh my God.
These are some quotes from that speech. It's a very famous speech.
Yeah.
You can be filled with bitterness, with hatred, and a desire for revenge, tempted to be filled with hatred and distrust at the injustice of such an act and feel this way against like all white people. I can only say that I feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. We can move in that direction as a country, in greater polarization, filled with hatred towards one another. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion towards one another, and a feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be black or whether they be white or whether they be black. So that's
Damn.
yeah. On June 16th, 1968, at a party celebrating his win of the California primary,
Okay.
he's assassinated.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At the time, the government did not provide Secret Service to presidential candidates.
Oh yeah.
And after giving his speech, thanking his delegate, thanking his people for his campaign after winning California, he is ushered out through the kitchen to leave, and he stops to shake hands with a 17-year-old busboy, Juan Romero. And then Saran steps out from behind a shelf next to an ice machine, rushes at him, and fires 8 shots at a point-blank range.
Oh my God.
Even after he shoots Kennedy and he's mortally wounded, he's still shooting around. We will get into this when we talk about the assassination. Many people heard 13 shots.
Oh my God.
And it's an 8-shot gun.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people who are like second shooter, whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we don't
Okay.
know. But Kennedy is mortally wounded. As Kennedy lay wounded, Romero cradled his head and placed a rosary in his hand.
Oh my God.
Kennedy asked Romero, "Is everybody okay?" And Romero responds, "Yes, everybody's okay." And then Kennedy turned away and said, "Everything is going to be okay." And those were his last words.
Oh my God.
5 other people are wounded. William Weisel of ABC News, Paul Charade of the United Automobile Workers Union, Democratic Party activist Elizabeth Evans, and Ira Goldstein of Continental News Service, and a Kennedy campaign volunteer, Erwin Stoll.
Oh my God.
There's like nuts pictures of this online because the press was there. I went to the Wikipedia page for his assassination. There's just like literally a photo of him dead, so would not recommend.
Yeah, why not?
I'm like, this is Wikipedia. Like,
yeah,
insane.
Wikipedia loves to
Put
a
a
picture of a
dead-ass
literal
body.
dead person.
Yes. So Saran is arrested, and in his pocket was a newspaper clipping where Bobby expressed his support for Israel and his support for the U.S. arming Israel.
Oh my God.
And as I said before, basically immediately afterwards, he says Saran says that he drank and blacked out, doesn't remember everything. He also had said basically immediately afterwards that he didn't do it. It's changed a lot. He's obviously a person who's been very troubled because the system has not worked for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He, as I said before, Saran, he's still alive, still in jail, which feels like for sure not let him out. He's 75.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
He's a Palestinian man who was 4 years old when Israel, the state, was created. His family was forced out of their home, endured horrors, and eventually fled to a part of Palestine that was annexed by Jordan. 10 years later, they secured a sponsor to get them to the United States, but the trauma with them that they endured stayed with them.
Yeah.
He was reported by the news to be a Jordanian man, again, because people had a lack of understanding of the situation going on. I just think it's important to talk about that because it is like context that you don't learn.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
that's
I don't think that
crazy.
this is, I was thinking about it before, hesitating, because I think I don't ever want this to be used where people are like, see?
Yeah.
Violent, when it's like, no, this is a separate thing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
People aren't like everyone who reads Catcher in the Rye is an assassin.
Yes.
Because the guy who shot John Lennon read it, you know?
Yeah.
These are separate people. But we also had a notebook that just said over and over. He wrote over and over again, Bobby Kennedy should die. Bobby Kennedy should die. Bobby Kennedy should die. Bobby. So that's
that's not good.
no, not great.
Oh my God.
So that's kind of an overview of Bobby Kennedy's life. I think we have to do an in-depth episode on the JFK assassination and the Bobby assassination because the way the LAPD like burned evidence for the Bobby Kennedy assassination investigation is insane. They lost a door.
What?
A whole door. They lost
how?
It's a great fucking question.
Like how?
The famously good at their jobs, non-crooked LAPD.
Yeah,
no one you can trust more than the LAPD.
No, the LAPD is really trustworthy.
We love how all of what they do.
Damn.
We support our boys in blue.
Love.
Save
our boys in blue. Sorry, I'm
from themselves.
I'm shaking.
By that, how fast that just
Yeah, that was nuts.
60s were nuts, dude.
No, the 60s were crazy.
So that's Bobby.
Well, thank you, Carly.
Of course.
Let's fucking go. I am really like, it is just learning more and more about it. It makes, I don't want to say sense, but like, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, like whoever burns the brightest, like burns out the hardest or whatever. Like it is one of those things where it's like, it almost makes sense why so many of the Kennedys ended up dead just because like they did the absolute most that you could do.
At any point, I agree. Yeah.
Where it's like, Joe, you know, like they're in every war.
He's doing more than he needs to in the war. You know, like all these
He's
things.
doing more than he needs to in the presidency. He's doing more than he needs to on the campaign trail. Like they just like hit the ground so hard.
Yeah.
You know?
It's sad. And they just have a lot of fucking kids. Like there's just way more people. There's so many fucking kids.
It's crazy.
Because I think it was something like after he died, like a couple months later, his final child was born. But it was like his 8th kid or something crazy like that. I was like, you had 8 fucking kids?
How old was he? Like 25? He had 8 kids?
He was, I think, in his 40s.
Because
he was 22 when he was in Palestine. So that was like in the 50s, I think. So yeah, he was probably like 40, maybe?
Yeah, makes sense.
Late 30s, early 40s?
Jesus.
Okay, do you want to do a little...
Let's make this tragedy about us.
This is the part where we take this horrible tragedy and make it about us. Blair.
Yes.
What would be if Bobby Kennedy were alive today and you're running his campaign, how are you branding him? Or what would he, alternatively, if there was more options than just being a politician, what would he be doing today?
Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. If he were a politician, I feel like I would brand him. Wait, okay, let me think about this.
I think he should be bi. I think that he should be bi. I think that would be good. Kind of like a bisexual Pete Buttigieg, where he's like still a veteran.
Yes.
Harvard man, but he's still with Ethel, but he's bi.
Yeah, I think he's bi.
He loves Hamilton.
In
oh
my
God,
Williamsburg.
Yep.
Like,
he's riding like a little. He's kind of like Olivia Chow, Jack Layton. They're riding a little tandem bicycle around Williamsburg. Yeah.
He has like his partner is she they.
Of course.
You know, like hot.
Ethel is hot. Baby bangs. Ethel gets baby bangs and a septum.
Yes. I also think like their kids would be very like posting really like the stuff that he can't.
Yeah.
So they'd be making the radical statements on like TikTok, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
A la like Tim Walz's daughter.
Yeah.
And then I think if he wasn't doing politics, I think honestly, I'd love to see him as like a mayor. And I know that's a cop out, but like why you got to go for the presidency?
Yeah, just do a low-key kind of position.
Yeah, do a low-key kind of position. Or, alternately, beat poet.
Ooh, love.
Bring it back.
Podcaster.
Podcaster would be huge.
Podcaster.
Or like a host of like a daily show with Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I would love that.
Where you're really able to say anything you want.
Yes. Well, we miss you.
Informed.
You know.
What would you do?
That's what I'm pitching. I was there with you. I was like pitching,
huge.
you know.
Yeah.
He's got to be kind of like a comfortable lefty.
Yes.
Like a lefty that like moms aren't afraid of. An unthreatening lefty. Because I think he should be. I do think he should be bi, and I think that he should have a non-binary partner in some capacity, whether they are rocking with she they or what.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And I think kind of like they should have photos kind of like earlier, like those photos of Kate Middleton when she and William momentarily broke up and she's like in her club wear.
That rocks.
I think that they need to have a bit more of that, of like earlier photos where they're like, Bobby and Ethel Core.
Yeah.
And then it's like earlier photos of them like
Yes.
waiting in line at like Bergheim or like going clubbing.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time in Berlin.
A lot of time in Berlin. He loves Berlin. I think he should be like, I think he is vegetarian.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
think
vegan,
so.
but I think he's vegetarian.
I think he's almost like flexitarian, where it's
Yeah.
like he'll go and eat like the meat from like an ethical farm.
Yes.
But like in the city, he's like no factory
He's like,
farming.
no factory farm.
Yeah, exactly.
What we love.
Well, thank you so much, Carly.
Of course. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.